Welcome to a special extended edition of Pwned at Gamescom. Coming up on the show, it's a compilation of all the EA inside info from Gamescom 2011. Games include FIFA 12, Need for Speed The Run, Battlefield 3, SSX and more, so sit back, relax and enjoy. First up today, Star Wars The Old Republic, you're my only hope. Gabe, nice setup you've got here.
Yeah, I don't know, like 70 terminals. We're letting players play the Origin planets, PvP, and we're showing some of our endgame content on the big monitor here.
What exactly is happening behind you here?
Behind me here, Origin planets. Players can play any of the 8 base classes, 16 advanced classes through the different Origin planets.
And it's PvP they're playing, is that right?
Yeah, PvP in the other room. We're letting players play Alderaan Civil War, and we're also hosting sort of some commentated matches with players in front versus players in back and giving out prizes.
So what experience can people expect when they play the game here on the show floor?
They can expect to see all the different Origin planets. They can expect to play 15 to 30 minute sessions of PvP.
So when you're playing the endgame games and the operations, teamwork is a big factor, isn't it?
Yeah, co-op, absolutely. There's varying difficulty modes though, because we expect, different types of players to come to this game. Some are familiar with MMOs, some aren't, and so that's why we have the different difficulty modes. For the easier difficulty modes, we let players sort of ease into that co-op behavior. But yeah, it's co-op, and that's part of the fun. Everyone has a different role, and the choices they make along the way sort of helps define their role in these co-op situations.
If you consider yourself to be a bit of a lone wolf, can you also play the game?
You can. I think James recently talked about Ilum, the planet of Ilum. This sort of story culminates in an ongoing conflict there, and there's different world arc stories as well as different missions that every day you log in, there's different missions in the war effort that solo players can do and enjoy. And, the group content's very accessible, so we imagine some of those lone wolves meeting up with other people.
We're in Germany, we've heard the game voiced in German, and I believe everything has been voiced, every bit of dialogue, is that right?
That is. Hundreds of hours of gameplay, 3 languages, full voiceover, complete voiceover.
That's a massive task. Did you start making this game when you were 1?
No, I did not. I've been on the project for just over a year.
And I guess you're really enjoying it. It's almost coming out.
Yeah, I'm loving it, and we're targeting later this year.
In Star Wars they have snow speeders, and in SSX you can speed on the snow. It's SSX. So Todd, it's all about online for you at Gamescom this year.
Yeah, this is our big, this is kind of our big unveil of all of our online and multiplayer features. The community's been waiting a long time to hear what we're doing there, and we're unveiling it all today at Gamescom.
So you talked about RiderNet at the press conference. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, RiderNet is, inspired by the Autolog engine that powered Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. We knew we were going to need kind of a tour guide that could take you through, point you to where the best fun for you is going to be, point you to your friends, and that's what RiderNet does.
So you can race with other people in real time, but you can also race ghosts as well?
Yeah, ghosts are going to be a big part of a mode that we call Explore. So the idea with Explore is we challenge you to explore every single drop in the world, and every time you do, if it's a race drop, we challenge you to set your fastest time. If it's a trick drop, we challenge you to set your highest score. And if it's a survival drop, we challenge you to descend as far down the mountain as you can before you die. Every time that you rip off a personal best, we upload a ghost to our servers, and then that ghost becomes visible to all your friends. So every time that you go and challenge and try to beat one of your friends' ghosts, if you beat it, you get rewarded with some in-game economy that you can then use to purchase better gear and stuff that'll help you set better records. But the really cool thing is, once you set some ghosts out into the world by just playing a whole bunch of runs, when those ghosts compete against your friends, even when you're offline, they're actually earning you money. So when you log back on, it'll say something like, since you've been gone, your ghosts have won 157 matches, and they've earned you $75,000 of in-game money, and you get to go to the store and spend all that, which is really fun.
Have you got any other info about online for us?
Well, we've got global events as well. So global events are how you compete against people simultaneously going down the mountain. So that's our answer to real-time competition. The way that we looked at it is, why don't we just run a constant ongoing live competition on every drop in the game? We'll set all kinds of different win conditions. It could be race, tricks, survive. We'll set different time limits. It could be, single run top to bottom that you would expect in a game like this. But then also, 30 minutes. Who can set the fastest time in the next 30 minutes? When time runs out, we look at the leaderboard. Everybody gets awarded something based on how they placed, and then it starts all over again.
Online play does sound fun. It's probably the most fun you can have without travel insurance.
Yeah, I mean, that was our goal. We wanted to make it really fun and really easy, and more than anything else, we just wanted to find a way to make friends be right at the absolute heart of this game and competition with friends as easy and accessible as possible. And I think we've done that, and I think we're really going to redefine social competition.
In SSX, you're riding on the tip of avalanches, but in Need for Speed The Run, you're racing through them. I'd hate to see this guy's insurance premium.
In the game you play as this guy, Jack Rourke, who is on a cross-country race from San Francisco to New York across America. And in the Colorado level, what happens is the road is closed for blasting, essentially, which happens commonly in these high snow-packed areas. But Jack is forced into a race on this closed road, and then the avalanche blasting begins. So it's definitely a very kind of adrenaline-filled, high-action racing moment in the game.
So I guess you're going to face that danger and more dangers throughout your race from San Francisco to New York.
Yeah, the idea is that we wanted to recreate sort of the feeling of a Hollywood blockbuster story, which obviously we're a racing game first and foremost, and 90% of the game is just about racing. But every once in a while we wanted to throw in sort of a memorable, type of moment, avalanche being one of them. We had the action level in Chicago that we showed off at E3 this year, and there'll be other elements where we have environmental effects beyond the avalanche. We have things where dust storms come in and make life difficult for you. We'll have moments where the cops are chasing you. So the idea is that we wanted to kind of, have a racing game that has a little bit more motivation behind it from time to time. And moving to Frostbite 2 as we did has incredible audio tools within there. I mean, a Battlefield, obviously people know how that game sounds. So that allows us to, integrate that technology in a way that gives us an amazing experience.
So what inspired the trip from San Francisco to New York? Were you trying to recreate your own road movie?
I'd say to a certain extent. I mean, the idea of racing across the U.S. is actually a very romantic ideal, and the fact that we could recreate this incredible journey from San Francisco to New York by using Frostbite and having over 300 kilometers of track in the game, from the city centers to the deserts to the snowy mountaintops. You're going to really experience it all on this journey, and the fact that we can recreate that is really exciting.
And does the music change dynamically depending on where you are in the country?
Well, we wanted to have a very kind of Hollywood feel to this. We've hired a composer named Brian Tyler, who's done some great films like Fast 5 and Battle of Los Angeles, and want to make sure that the music suits the tone of the race that you're in. So when you're being chased by the cops, it's obviously a much higher adrenaline experience. The avalanche levels, you see the music there is really, really evocative. So we want to make sure that we're delivering that experience as much as we can. So yeah, you'll see it change from time to time.
Well, it's looking great, it sounds great, I'm sure it'll play great when it comes out.
Yes, thanks very much. It's going to be out on November 15th in North America, November 18th in Europe, and we can't wait for people to get their hands on it.
If you play football, you'll have a need for speed, or you can just relax on the sofa and play it. I chatted to friend of the show, David Rutter, to get the latest info on the award-winning FIFA 12. First of all, David, congratulations on your Best Console Game of Gamescom 2011 award.
Thank you very much. It's just here, literally. I am very, very proud of the team back in Vancouver for winning that. They really deserve it.
Now, you made some announcements at the press conference. First of all, the demo is out soon.
Yeah, that's on the 13th. As this is a UK show, I'm sure people will be pleased that Arsenal and Man City are on there as well. So.
Now, let's talk about Ultimate Team. That's for the first time available on the disc in the box, is that right?
That's right. So from the minute that you put your disc into the drive this year, you'll be able to start playing that. But if you're impatient, as many people probably are, you can actually go onto easportsfootball.com and start building your Ultimate Team from the 20th, so a week or so ahead of launch.
It's been a long road for you. The game's almost out. So what happens next?
We're almost there. It's kind of a hard road still to go, but I'll be flying back to Vancouver on Saturday. And then straight back into the office with the lads to put the finishing touches to it.
What final tweaks are you making?
Fixing bugs, things that annoy us, making sure that everything works really, really well. We're still doing kits, we're still doing boots, we're still doing balls, we're still doing hair, rank play, friendly matches, the whole thing really.
And of course FIFA 12 is available on EA Sports Season Ticket?
Yeah, for 360 owners in the UK and in Europe, you'll be able to get Season Ticket, download FIFA 3 days before launch to get a bit of a head start on your game. You'll be able to continue that progress into the main game as well, which is pretty cool. And for people who like Ultimate Team, obviously there's going to be a discount on buying any of the packs. And Creation Centre on the web, we've got a bunch of premium content that will be unlocked by Season Ticket too. But if you don't have Season Ticket, you can actually buy the unlocks for Creation Centre anyway. So we're looking forward to getting feedback from those guys that get the game early, so we can play them online before anyone else.
Now, David, I know there's scores of journalists outside waiting to have a look at FIFA 12, but fancy a game?
Sure. I'm not sure we've got much time, so we'll have to make it quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Cool.
From one award-winning game to another, soon we'll be talking 64-player multiplayer on PC, but first up, we managed to chat to Patrick Liu about Battlefield 3 winning Game of the Show. So you're holding the award at the moment. Here it is, Gamescom Award 2011, best game of Gamescom. Where's this award going to go now?
I'm going to store it in my room for now, and then I'm going to bring it back to the team, and they so deserve this. They've been, yeah, I can't say it enough that they've been working so hard, and I'm so proud of what they've been doing.
Nicholas, we meet again in the PC multiplayer area, and that's quite a queue outside. Apparently it's like 7 hours or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's crazy to see it going around the booth and people waiting.
So what can they play here today in the PC area?
Today we're showing the 64-player multiplayer on PC in our booth, and as you can see, people around here are having a good time and trying out the game.
So the jets are back?
Yeah, so what's new with the jets in BF3 is that they are customizable. You get to choose different loadouts depending on what you want to do. If you're a dogfighter, you want to choose dogfighting weaponry and so on, and countermeasures, but also you have these smart weapons that you can use to take out ground targets. It's all up to how you want to be a pilot and how you want to help the team.
And if you want to pilot the helicopters, what choices do you have there?
You can customize your gunner position and your pilot position, and defensive measures and offensive weaponry there as well, and radars.
What sort of ground vehicles do you have in the game to play with today? Is everything completely open, or have you chosen specific ground vehicles?
We have every ground vehicle represented here. We have the fast transport vehicles, as well as the armored transports, the mobile anti-air, infantry fighting vehicles as well.
And what sort of loadout can people choose before they go into battle?
I mean, we're calling it Play It Your Way, because you can customize your favorite weapon to be that type of gun that you want it to be. So if you want the mid-range, or you want the short range, you want the power, you want accuracy, you can tweak your weapon through the accessories to fit what your style needs.
Now there's not long to go before the game's out. Is there anything left to do in the game? Are you still polishing?
Yeah, we're polishing, making sure we get everything together and working and getting ready for release.
And are you using feedback from things such as these events, like from playtests?
Yes, and of course we have the open beta coming up very soon, which will give us just that last vital feedback as well.
Nicholas, thanks a lot. I'll let you get back to supervising all these gamers having a go on your game.
Thank you.
Battlefield 3 there, and there'll be a special Battlefield 3 at Gamescom edition of PWNED available online next week. Moving on, it's time to talk about Reckoning. So Sean, I can see some cards in your hand which you're giving away at the conference. What are those about?
So these are our Destiny cards. So Reckoning has a very different class system than any other RPG. In many RPGs you choose, I'm going to be a fighter, I'm going to be a mage. You've never played the game, you don't know whether you like that style of play. You get 15 hours in and you realize you don't like the style of play, you got to start over with a different class.
I've had that before.
Yes. Basically you just choose the style of play that you want. The game then starts recognizing what you're building. Say you're putting some points into might and then some points into sorcery, it might start calling you a battle mage.
Now let's talk about the combat. It's very much an action RPG, this, isn't it?
That's right. We've spent a huge amount of time on the combat system. We really want the combat to feel fluid and responsive, but it's not a button mashing game. Your success is not based upon how quickly you can hit the buttons or memorize combos. It really is based upon your ability choices, the weapons that you outfit your character with. It's like, which enemies do I lock down with an ice spell? Which ones do, I use my harpoon to pull in close if I'm a warrior. So it's really playing on that kind of strategy level of RPG combat that you want, but it's fast and fluid and incredibly responsive.
Sounds great. And on Tuesday, Ken Ralston announced the game's release date, which is?
It's February 10th, 2012 on PC, Xbox 360 and PS3.
We managed to chat to Michael Gamble, associate producer of Mass Effect 3. Mike, I saw the squad leader trailer at the EA press conference yesterday. Looked pretty special.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece. That features our Atlas. It's the Cerberus heavy mech. It's basically the example of what Cerberus is bringing into the game. So it shows your squad basically fighting the mech, doing different flanking moves. It's definitely something to be feared in the game as well.
Yeah, it was definitely causing Commander Shepard a bit of problems there.
Absolutely. In the main game as well, you'll be able to actually snipe the pilot out of the Atlas and pilot that for yourself, and then basically use it against the squad members. So.
And I saw some close-up action with the Omniblade there as well.
Yeah. So the Omniblade is kind of the newest addition to the melee heavy-hitting attack that Shepard has. So each of the classes in Mass Effect 3 have a different take on the Omniblade. We'll be showing the Engineer, the Sentinel, and the Soldier here at Gamescom. And the Omniblade is designed to to drop enemies really quickly. It's really visceral and really hard hitting.
So Mike, it's fair to say this game is pretty big.
Absolutely. So this is the main event. This is the foreshadowing of the Reaper War that's happened in the last 2 games is basically come to a front here. And this is where you take them on, and all the choices that you've made in the previous games will basically play a part in this. But at the same time, people who want to join in for the first time in Mass Effect Trilogy, this is a great place to do it because it is the beginning of the war. So it's what we've been basically building to.
And in Mass Effect 2, I got quite attached to my characters, and in the suicide mission, I was really worried that they were in danger. You've upped the emotion in this game quite a lot, I hear, as well.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of moments in the game where those decisions and those, perhaps even deaths that have happened in the previous games will have huge emotional impacts on the outcome of the story.
So you've got plenty more to announce, but is there one moment in the game that you just can't wait to tell people and you're itching to tell them?
Yeah, actually there's 3 or 4 amazing moments and super features in the game that we're really excited to announce, but it'll just have to take its time to do it.
Do you find that frustrating? Does it drive you nuts that you can't tell people?
Oh, it drives me absolutely crazy. There's so much to talk about, but we can't.
And before I let you get on and show people stuff in the BCD room, nice mug, N7 mug, check this out. Where can I get one?
Probably actually bounce back over there and get one.
Do you reckon I can sneak one in my bag?
You can, definitely.
Shepard's just a commander. I got an interview with the president of EA Sports. So Andrew, you've been in the job a couple of weeks now. Quiet time for you. Convention, Christmas coming up, new game titles.
Yeah, nothing going on at all. Absolutely nothing. I don't even
in fact, it's boring.
Yeah, clearly boring. No, it's been a very, very busy couple of weeks. But we've had a great show. The products are showing great. We had a great event yesterday. FIFA looks spectacular. SSX is amazing. Street is back. It's a pretty good time to be in EA Sports right now.
You've worked your way up through the ranks of EA. For anyone that doesn't know who you are, what's your history in EA?
I started at EA in Australia. We had a little studio down there about 11 years ago. I worked on a surfing game that got killed. I worked on rugby and cricket games. I did some time on FIFA Manager. But probably the biggest thing I did with the company was I had the great fortune of leading the team for the FIFA rewrite that started back in 06 for 07 and through that journey. And then, they gave me a shot at running development for the label, and now they give me a shot at running the label. So clearly, if you hang around long enough, good things happen.
They certainly do. Now, obviously, all the games are your babies, but which sports game is your favourite?
Well, that's like a Sophie's Choice type of thing, isn't it? I'm not really supposed to say, am I?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what are you into?
In all honesty, I'm playing them all. But FIFA, given that, I gave blood, sweat and tears on that franchise, is probably the one that if I had to choose, would be right there next to my heart.
Games such as Battlefield 3 are using things like ANT technology from FIFA. Does that give you a sense of pride as president of EA Sports?
It does. I mean, if you've seen Battlefield, it is an amazing game. And to know that, a little piece of what we did for FIFA is in that product, that's pretty cool. And I expect in the future, we're going to start bringing some stuff from Battlefield back to our products as well.
Now, I know it may sound a bit inappropriate, but you being president of EA Sports, surely I can take this home, can't I?
Clearly. I mean, it's not mine.
Andrew Wilson there. Now yesterday at the press conference he announced FIFA Street, and earlier today I got to chat to Gary Patterson about that newly announced title, Back of the Net, quite literally. Gary, we've seen FIFA Street before, but this is a reboot of the franchise, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe the 3 main points for us is this is the first time the game will be developed by the EA Sports Football Group, so myself, I'm from FIFA, the lead animator, lead AI engineer, the lead animation SE, they're all from FIFA, they're all got FIFA experience, so I think that's the first thing for us. It's the first time that the football group have developed it, but more than that, it's the first time it's been based on a FIFA gameplay engine, and obviously we've got some great technology on FIFA 12.
So you've got ANT technology and the player impact engine, and all of that has been brought over to FIFA Street.
That's right, yeah, so we've got a great foundation there, but as you'll see, we have built on top of that, we've got some new dribbling mechanics, lots of tricks, lots of wall play mechanics, we've got some great new stuff.
Now, FIFA Street is obviously a different type of football. There's one goal, there's less players. How does that mechanic work?
Yeah, well, I think the smaller pitch means we've got to focus on the 1v1. If you ever watch Street Football, it's all about the 1v1. It's all about showboating, it's all about flair, it's all about humiliating your defender. So we've put some dribbling mechanics in there, some street ball control mechanics in there, so that you can get yourself in a one-on-one position more often.
And it also looks a lot less over the top than, say, the older FIFA Street. It's a lot less NBA Jam this time.
Yeah, so we feel like, if you've ever gone onto YouTube and looked at street football videos, street football is a fantastical sport as it is. There's no need for us to exaggerate that.
And what type of players have you got in here? Have you got the whole roster you'd see in FIFA, or is it the main big boys, as it were?
So that was always a challenge for us. There are people out there who think that, Manchester United and all those types of teams, the real teams, real club teams, don't really have a place in street football because that's not authentic. So we've built a game, and we'll talk more about this in a couple of months, but we've built a game where those licensed teams are in the game, but they're not as prominent as they were before.
So you're expecting fans of street football that might have a kick around in their local park saying, put my local park in the game?
Well, it's something that I guess we kind of anticipated. And so the variety of the environments we have tried to cater to as many things as we can. You know, there's parking lots, there's gyms, you know, there's caged environments that are very popular in the UK. There's tented environments, you know, maybe the futsal is very popular in mainland Europe. So we've tried to cater for everyone. So hopefully, even though their actual environment in this game, there's something that's very similar.
One of the places you can't play street football in the game is in and around the mythical town of Kirkwall. And that's about the best segue we had to offer between FIFA Street and Dragon Age 2 Legacy. Fernando, Dragon Age 2 Legacy has been out for almost a month now. What's the reaction been?
Really, really good. I mean, one of the things that we were really hoping for is that fans enjoyed the direction that we were taking it. We certainly received a lot of feedback at the end of Dragon Age 2 with the launch. We've certainly been trying to listen to that feedback. Legacy was one step within as far as what we can produce with the DLC. And the feedback has been phenomenal. People really enjoyed it. They thought that what we did to combat was a lot better. They really loved the fact that Hawk's story continues, all new areas, all those kinds of things.
And I believe there's a new item pack on the way.
So this is going to be our second item pack for each of the classes, for Mage, Warriors, and Rogues. Some fantastic new gear to make your Hawk and followers look fantastic, and some cool items in there for you. And certainly the first one did really, really well. It's not for everybody, but for a lot of people that love to kind of dress up Hawk and make him or her look really cool, there's a fantastic new set of stuff coming out next week.
Moving on from RPGs to isn't that cute? It's time to talk about The Sims 3 Pets with senior designer Aaron Connors. So Aaron, Sims gamers have probably been requesting pets for a long time, and they're almost finally here.
Yes, pets is the most requested feature for The Sims, and we have delivered it in a brand new way this time around.
So what's new in this game that we haven't seen before?
The biggest thing is that you actually have your pets as Sims, and so they have needs and wishes. They can have jobs. Dog can be in law enforcement. They can help out with the firefighting. And on the console, we have what's called the Mystery Journal. The Mystery Journal is a way for people to help explore the game and to have lots of little objectives to accomplish. It's more for the achievement-based player. For example, cats can hunt out ghosts and capture them. That's kind of one of the things that is a recurring theme throughout the game, is the supernatural element. Dogs obviously can dig, hunt, and so on. So they help you to solve those mysteries.
So in real life, people like to breed their pets. Can you do that in The Sims as well?
You can woohoo between your pet Sims as well. And so depending on what the breeds are, the puppy that they create will have the shared traits of the parents.
So what sort of hybrid pets can we see?
Well, we will have a special limited edition where we have some really funky pets, which are combinations of other animals. So we have like a skunk cat, we have a tiger dog, some other surprising things that will be available for download.
I've seen a clownfish as well with an actual red nose.
Yes, clownfish taste funny.
See what you did there? From pets to jets. Earlier on, I got to speak to Patrick Liu, co-producer of Battlefield 3, and this is what he had to say for himself. Why did you decide to include co-op in Battlefield 3?
I think that when we released Onslaught with Bad Company 2, we saw it was very popular, and Battlefield has always been a social game, so we figured that people would probably like co-op, and I think it's a great addition to the franchise.
So Patrick Soderlund and Carl Magnus Trudson demoed the co-op yesterday. Are we seeing the same map on Gamescom show floor, or is it something different we're going to see?
Yeah, we're actually going to show the same map, but you only saw the beginning of it on the press conference, so we're going to show the whole map, so you can play everything with the stealth part, a lot of action, and then ending with a big epic thing.
It does sound very, very exciting. Can you just tell me, because co-op is a different mode for you guys, have you got different weapons and different gadgets in there? Are there different ways to play the game?
We're more or less translating what we have in multiplayer and taking on to co-op. So basically you can have access to all that stuff, but you play with a friend instead, and you actually can unlock weapons that's co-op specific that you can bring back to multiplayer.
Do you think that it also delivers more of a storyline feel, but the multiplayer element?
Yeah, definitely. It's a mix of both, because we're bringing the grinding and the points and stuff like that, from multiplayer, but we will bring in the storyline and the campaign from single player. So it's not the same story as single player. It is a different story, but it's tied to what happens in single player.
We saw tanks in the demo. Are there going to be other vehicles in there as well?
You will be able to drive different kinds of vehicles. You will be able to fly. I won't say exactly what you're going to fly.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, you're going to drive ground vehicles. There are a lot of sneaky missions. There are a lot of action-filled missions. So you're going to do the whole thing. We found specific elements where you only can do as a team of 2 people, like tandem shots, killing 2 enemies at the same time, not to trigger the alarm. Helping each other out, one spotting, one shooting, and so on. And that stuff doesn't suit very well to multiplayer, but it suits perfectly for co-op.
We've seen 2-player co-op in other similar games. What makes this different?
I think it's the Battlefield formula. We bring you the whole scale of the maps, the destruction, and Frostbite 2. The power of Frostbite 2 is unique by itself, and I think people are going to love it.
Finally, we take a journey to the secret world to find out the facts about the myths. Ragnar, the CGI sequence we saw at the press conference was pretty special looking.
It's awesome. They're done by a company called Digic, and we had like a lot of them so far, following 3 characters that you actually get to meet in the game. And the great thing about these CG movies is that ours have a real connection. You actually get to meet these CG characters, you get to go to those locations, you get to use those powers and those weapons, and you get to face those monsters in the game. The Secret World is a game set in a modern-day real world where players join one of 3 secret societies: the Dragon, the Templars, and the Illuminati, in order to, fight the rising darkness, but also to compete for magical artifacts in locations all over the world.
In a world that has a lot of fantasy MMORPGs, this provides something different, it seems.
It does. I mean, it's set in a modern-day real world. It's a game without classes, without levels, and it's a game with 3 factions, which is also very unique. Players get to dress up any way they want to. They get to choose the powers they can bring out into the combat with them. We have 9 different weapon types, modern weapons like assault rifle and shotgun, and magic powers like elementalism. And players can mix and match these to really sort of create a character that they want to play and be who they want to be, which is important in a modern-day setting.
So what game modes are you showing at Gamescom today?
So at Gamescom, we're revealing something really cool. We're revealing what's called war zones. War zones are persistent PvP playfields where the 3 factions duke it out for control of these sort of ancient relics, and whoever holds these relics gets bonuses for the entire faction. So there's a real incentive to really control that, to go out there and to fight for your faction, get these points, and then everybody in your faction gets the bonuses.
And on the show floor, what are you showing there?
On the show floor, we're actually showing an entire dungeon run-through. It's a dungeon called the Polaris. It's a capsized cargo ship somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean that's brought creatures of the living dead to this island, and players will go in there to find strange Cthulhian creatures and fight those, and at the end board a helicopter and fly off, and then something very surprising happens.
Interesting. Well, we'll see that soon, I hope. And when can we expect to play The Secret World?
The Secret World launches for the PC in April 2012. The players can already start next Friday, August 26th, and sign up for the beta, and hopefully get a slot in the beta before the game launches.